Secondly, I have a question for you, Mr. Rotimi. There was this,
Yes.
sort of jubilation, and the world, those who are in the crypto space all over the world were just, at the moment of the approval, very excited and super excited. Now there are projections that the BTC, as at when it was approved, it was trading for about $46,000 or $47,000. And there was this projection that BTC was likely going to go back to its previous high, which is about $69,000 that it actually attained sometime in 2021. But when you look at the chart of Bitcoin technically, and with what we are seeing now, understanding the pattern, at times these big players, do. I see Bitcoin coming down to about $12,000 this same year after her halving in April. But there are projections that Bitcoin would never get to $12,000. Technically, on the charts, is likely to hit back $12,000. So, what is your take on this?
My honest take on this is that the future of Bitcoin is bright when we have, you know, the future of Bitcoin is bright when we have these parties involved gaining approval to join the party. And the party is not a party that you are restricted to do things that we are normally doing, before the party started. That is before the approval. For those that are actively investing in Bitcoin outside the UTF, the party has started. Because it has moved from gaining money from believers to gaining money from non-believers.
Okay.
The money that we flood into Bitcoin now is going to be from the people that do not believe in Bitcoin before. But because of the legitimacy that is, wrapped around Bitcoin at the moment, because of the approval from the SEC, is going to give it a level of acceptance that people that do not actually believe in Bitcoin before now, we see it as an investment opportunity now, because those that are protecting us about fraud or scam are now actively saying that you can now, invest in these opportunities. You can now take part in these activities. Those same people are now saying now it is okay for us to go. So now that we are getting that okay for us to go, it is going to be a Wall Street kind of feeling from this period to the end of time. As far as Bitcoin is listed, it's going to give you the Wall Street feeling for that period of time. So we see people coming in, going out, there's everyday push, everyday buying and selling will be happening. It will be more volatile than ever. That is my own projection.
When are we anticipating? When are we anticipating this volatility in Bitcoin? Is the volatility in Bitcoin coming in after the halving, which is taking place this April? Are we looking at a volatile Bitcoin? Or are we looking at the same trend of what has happened after the halving?
Yeah, the volatility that is happening is that before those investors put in their money, they will take good positions.
Absolutely.
They will take marvelous positions. And the positions that they are willing to take can go down to $12,000.
That is it, because technically Bitcoin is to come down to $12,000.
It can go down to as much as $12,000. It can.
I can imagine.
And
I can imagine.
Also, it cannot. And also, it cannot.
Okay. Okay.
It depends on the active players. It depends on
Active players in
the
the market.
investors that are around. Yes. It depends on the active players. It depends on the investors that are around. And it depends on the current holders. If the
Okay. If
current
they're willing
holders
to sell
decide
off
not to sell, if they decide not to sell, it's going to be very difficult for
for it to drop.
um, the prices to come down.
Okay.
It's going to be very difficult. But we know that these players are also part of this charade. They're also part of the game.
Absolutely.
Before now, before now, most of them have invested in Bitcoin heavily to expect the approval. And then they can decide to sell because they want to form a narrative. They can decide to sell their supply.
Okay.
Everything is demand and supply to form a
Absolutely.
narrative.
Yeah. When it comes to crypto. So looking at what we
So when they
had.
sell their supply, we can see
Okay.
that touch down.
Okay.
We can see that surge down that will fall back down, and it's still same people that will buy it back up, but it's different point
That will
of
buy
view.
it back.
Yes. So
Oh.
we can determine that the price will drop if it is still the same financial game that everybody is going to play, or people that already have Bitcoin will decide to hold and not to sell. Because the recent
And
people that sold,
if they decide to hold and not sell, it will be difficult for the price to go bearish.
yes. But the people that sold recently, there are people that bought recently.
Okay.
People that bought about a month ago when it was around 30 something, people
So they
that push
actually
up the
sold
hype
in
to
profits.
that price, they actually sold in profit. But the profit that they are selling in is actually minimal because they have a target. Possibly they are
Yeah.
going to send the money back to the ETF to invest for them,
Okay.
or they are going to look for a lower position to take. But I'm sure about something. I'm sure that for traders, for people that are actively going to trade Bitcoin, they are going to be in massive profit this year.
Okay.
Whether there is bull run, whether there is no bull run, the introduction of the ETF is going to cause massive movement up and down, even
In the
to a
BTC.
level that we have never had before. Yeah, it's going to be much more volatile than the forex market that we have never seen. Because you see these APs, they are always looking for arbitrage opportunities. So for when the price gets low, within a day, it can spring up because those are buyback. And when it gets low, it can spring up within a second. So for those that will actively trade Bitcoin, just I want to do buying and selling for 12 hours in a day, they are going to make massive load of money. But people that are
Okay.
looking for holding long term, they are looking at holding Bitcoin long term, you actually ride with the bull run. You will see where the bull run takes you to. You see the price where the bull run takes you to. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the bull run will go like the other bull runs that we have seen in the past. It will There will be a bull run actually, but it will be more of a slow paced bull run because we are having money going in and going out
And
in
coming
that slow
out.
pace.
Okay. So what do
Yes.
you make
It will
out
be
of?
more of a slow paced bull run.
Oh, all right.